and it was there was a recliner off the foyer there facing the TV. That's where I was sitting. I noticed that he went outside, but he came back in and he stopped in the center of the foyer and he was just standing there with a puzzled look on his face. And he came over and sat down on the arm of the recliner and handed me the letter. I don't even recall an envelope, to be honest. All I recall is him handing me that letter. And I read it, and I was stunned. It didn't make any sense. And I immediately went to the phone and I called Mother and told Mother what we had gotten. And we went from there to Mom's, and that was my one and only dealing with that letter at that point.
There was other people claiming to be in the house at the time the letter came.
There was nobody in that house but Tommy and I. Anyway, my husband's calling me for some reason.
So there wasn't a family friend of Tommy's parents that were visiting that night?
No.
That saw the letter? No. Taped to the door or something?
No.
Where did that come from?
No.
Where did that come from?
There's been so much speculation and stuff, been stuff over the years, and I'm telling you all now, there was no one in the house with Tommy and I was there when that letter came, and there were no other people there. And we took the letter straight to my mom, and then from there it went to the police department.
And then it got put in a file and thrown some.
I've heard the police department has lost files. They're not saying whether it's our files only. Everybody's, who has evidence, but files are missing.
Terry Ann just told me that she had pictures. Where were you at?
Your mom.
My mom's house, and she pulled them out, and whatever the tape was there went. She took the pictures. She's never seen them since.
I've had that problem.
I mean, it's crazy.
Turn some over to them, you never get that.
Last time James has been up here.
Well, Rusty has been down there, and in the detective's office, they have got boxes about this high. Boxes,
Five big
boxes,
boxes.
Oh, I've seen them.
of nothing but our case.
I've seen
Well-
them way back. I saw it. They had stuff out on tape.
And it's still in a little side case.
That was
They
fun.
moved last year, or a couple years ago, and I've heard now that they've lost files. They've lost evidence.
I've heard there's a big flood.
Did Rusty, did Shauna tell you Debra took her to Dallas that day?
Say that again?
I heard recently that Shauna told you that Debra took her to Dallas that day.
No,
Shauna did tell me that.
she's lying. Why?
Well, we caught her in other lies,
I
haven't
don't
we?
know. I have no idea.
It wasn't that day, it was later.
Excuses that outside, at this point, outside person. Other than that she was the mother of the child, and she wanted to get the baby. I know they went through bad divorce. She was doing drugs. I know that. That's why they divorced.
Hey, girl. Hey. Can you hear me?
I was down there.
Somebody is a part of the marriage.
Anybody else got questions? If you want to ask anybody questions, I can't really answer.
I'm an open book if anybody wants to ask me anything.
Okay.
I heard that you had,
Okay, buddy.
okay, I'll ask questions. I heard that there had been a new analysis, handwriting analysis done on the note.
Yes.
Is that
Oh,
true?
it's out there now, so I can tell you, yes, there has been.
Everybody knew anyway.
And the results? I'll say what I've heard.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll ask questions.
Yes,
I've heard that it was confirmed that it was Tommy's handwriting.
That's correct.
handwriting on the letter and envelope for life.
That's correct.
Well, the envelope
Kim
looks.
and I worked on that together.
You didn't write it.
But on the, but
It's been second, they can
he wrote the letter.
The whole
and
thing. The whole letter. Because I heard it.
Right, handwriting action.
Okay, so
And we got real good handwriting samples of his. Very good, and it was, the handwriting samples were from 1972. So it was good, honest handwriting.
Right.
The way they found this is that Debra has my
great big family Bibles.
No, they can't live on it.
And, Tommy and Rachel gave us that for Christmas. Had already given us to us before she disappeared. And when you sign it in the front, you know, who you're giving it to, it was Tommy.
That had written it.
He signed his name in that Bible, and it's an exact match to the envelope.
It's an exact match.
It's exact.
Well, he had also signed, you know, some depositions where he had to petition for some of the funds for Little Sean.
Yeah.
And if you took, I forgot who posted it on, but if you looked at that and then looked at the letter, or looked at the envelope was what was obvious to me. There was no mistake, in my opinion.
In my opinion, I'm not saying that Tommy Trelisa did this.
Right.
What I am saying is me and Kim sent the handwriting analysis off to a handwriting expert that came back and said that he absolutely wrote that letter and the envelope. We worked real hard on getting that together.
I just don't see where the letter, it looked like it was written by a woman in kind of big letters.
Yeah.
So that's all we do.
Okay, but
That's
they
all
can
we
win
do.
hey, I need to write a letter real quick. And that's what it was, sloppiness and just not thinking and wrote a letter. But I thought his handwriting was also proved against some letters he wrote to a girlfriend.
Exactly. Which shall be named, not named.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, that's.
But, I mean,
She came forward, she met me at my lawyer's office.
The thing is now, the police don't agree. The whole thing now, the police don't agree with that analysis.
they had a.
Yes, they do. Yeah, they agree.
They both on sides.
That ain't what I heard.
Yes, they do.
I just heard it because everybody was gonna storm downtown until we were told that they have their own analysis of what it is, it doesn't jive with what you guys. Not that that's wrong, or the other's right, or whatever jive, that's why we said.
Yes, she did confirm it. They did get
That's why
back.
we keep on
They say,
downtown.
You know that.
They
I
say,
can't hear what you're talking about.
they say the Fort Worth Police Department says that Rachel wrote the letter and it's surreal.
No.
No,
That's what I've heard. Rusty,
she knows.
I talked to Leah, and she said, because I said, I've heard, and she got her handwriting analysis back. I actually emailed her, and I said, so what are you gonna do about it being Tommy's handwriting? And she called me, she said, I'm calling you because I want to make sure you understand. She said, it came back to DPS. DPS said Rachel wrote the letter, and Rachel wrote the envelope. And I said, but that's not what
I
I
thought
heard.
you told me that.
She said,
Oh.
no, wait, there's a difference. Pick up this little one, Tammy, please. That Rachel wrote both the envelope and the letter. And I said, okay, but I've heard, I said, Mr. Wilson said that you told him that Tommy wrote the letter and the envelope. And she said, no. She said, I told him that it was my opinion that it looked like Tommy wrote the envelope. Yes. And that someone else, preferably a female, she said, it looks like a female handwriting, wrote the letter. And she said, that's where he made the mistake whenever I said, talking to her, Leah. She said, I said it was my assumption, or it looked to me like Tommy wrote the envelope. And she said, he just assumed then that I said Tommy wrote the envelope.
And
But
Rachel's
let me,
handwriting.
can I just say
Yeah,
something?
I know.
Because I'm about to jump out of my seat.
And Rachel's handwriting.
You've heard,
No.
and you've heard.
And I can call Mr. Wilson on speaker right now, but
I know. I'm not arguing with
I
her.
know, I
That's what
know.
she told me.
It just pisses me off that Fort Worth is lying like that, and she needs to be caught because
Of course they're not.
Detective Wagner called Richard Wilson and told him the opposite. It's confirmed by DPS that Tommy wrote the envelope. They were questioning whether or not he wrote the letter. Detective Wagner had asked Richard to have me call her and leave her a voicemail because there was some information that she wanted, and I was very shocked that she answered the phone. She answered the phone, and I talked to her for at least 45 minutes, and there was no misunderstanding. She said DPS agreed Tommy wrote the envelope.
But
We are unsure about the letter.
she voices this
I did
instead
not
of
know.
sending an email.
Well, I figured you did,
I
but.
did not know that.
Leah won't send information in email. She
See-
will call people. And then there's no evidence of what her opinion or anything.
But I know
Sandy's
Mr.
actually
Wilson
trying to
did
go
not
down there.
misunderstand her.
Sandy's trying to go down there and look and see if Leah will show her.
Well, she said she wanted to let me have a copy.
No, but you wanna go down there and see if your eyes, she won't
So,
answer.
we have two different handwriting analysis that come back saying Tommy wrote the.
But we have no
It's the
proof.
envelope.
We have no
Exactly.
proof
We
of
have
what
no
police
proof
department.
that DDS said that. That's just her saying.
That's how, we don't have any
We don't
proof.
have proof of this.
And can I just-
This is why, when this started out, what we're doing right now, it was gonna be storm downtown and confront the police department.
That's what I was.
But then after we heard all this conflicting stuff, I said,
Well, it
I'm
was.
not going down there to
Kim says she's off protected right now.
Tim, we're gonna, Tim's
Can I
not.
say something?
Yes, you may.
Okay, so when you have a meeting, you can't sit and talk over each other. You're gonna have to follow what's called Robert's rule. One man speaks or one lady speaks, and then you stay quiet till that